Right. Now, if you go to this session, okay, this is the session 12.5, okay, uses and misuses of statistical diagram. And misuse, I think all of you should know this word mistake, okay, start with MIS. And then we have similar words like misplace. Okay, for example, if you have a shelf, okay, if originally, okay, your book should be put here, but you place your book on top, then your mother may say to you that you misplace your books. Okay, therefore miss, okay, sometimes it's related to something wrong or mistake. Therefore, in this case, misuses, there are uses and misuses. It means some people may use the diagram in a wrong way or not a proper way. Okay, I will explain to you later. Okay, but you can, next time when you see some these kinds of words, you may be able to guess the meaning, okay, if you know how to separate the words in different parts. Okay, right. Now here, okay, first of all, okay, let's look at what kinds of diagram you have learned up to this moment. Okay, we have bar charts. You learned it in primary school. And then we can, for bar chart, we can use the distribution, show the distribution of the discrete data. Discrete data means not only discrete data or the data with just a name. Okay, for example, if this one represent apple, okay, and then this one represent orange, okay, something like that. Okay, we can use the bar chart to show the distributions of these kinds of data or discrete data. For example, if I am looking at um, the number of families, okay, the number of families, okay, with 0 children, 1 child, 2 children, 3 children, then in this case 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, these data are called discrete data. It means I am talking about number of children. Okay, therefore either the family has no children or has 1 child, 2 children, 3 children. Okay, and then we cannot have 4.5 children. Okay, right? Therefore, in this case, we can only have data in this way, 0, 1, 2, 3, like that. Then this is discrete data here, okay? We learned this word before, okay? Just remind you the meaning again. And then bar chart is mostly used for these kinds of data and then to show the distribution. Distribution means this is the distribution. You can see that this part is lower. This part is higher, has having more frequency. It means this data happens more times. Okay, and then this one is lower, and then this one is further lower. Okay, this kind of behavior is called distribution. For some, if I have another bar chart, let me clear the drawing. For example, if I have another bar chart like that, then in this case, this one has a different distribution, okay, because it goes very high and then down and then up again and then very low. Okay, then this kinds of impression or this kinds of cases we call it distribution. Okay, how the data are distributed, right? And then you can see that here are the features. It means what are the special points or the most uses for this kind of chart. And then bar chart is used to show the distribution of discrete data, and also easy to, and it is easy to compare, to compare the frequency, for different items. And then we also have pie chart. Pie chart, it looks like a circle. We use a circle, and then usually we want to show the portion, or percentage. It means as a whole, how much of it, how much of it, then we say that it is a kind of portion, for a certain data. Then in this case, we use pie chart. And then this one, it is also quite easy to compare frequency of the different item. It means when you look at it, for example, this one has a bigger part, then you can know that, the portion of this one is much bigger, or in this case, it is the largest one. And we also have a broken line graph, and then for broken line graph, and you can see how the frequency of an item changes over a period of time. Usually, broken line graph wants to show data, the changes of data, and then it is related to the time change. Therefore, in this case, when the time has changed, how the data change at the same time. And it can be used to predict the trend. For example, if you still remember, you have been asked what happened next, but based on the diagram, what happened next. It means for this one, you may think that it may keep coming down or decreasing like that. This is kind of predict. Talking something, talking about the future, or something which is not shown in the graph in this case. And then we have stem and leaf diagram. This one, stem and leaf diagram. And then for this one, how we use it shows the distribution of all the data while retaining the values of the whole set of data. Now for this one, this part is important. Retaining the data. Now, because say for this one, for example, if it is a group data, for a bar chart, we can have group data like that. For example, this bar is showing something from 10 to 15, and then the next bar showing something from should be something like that. It's not even 11 to 15, 16 to 20. And then we can draw the bar chart like that. It means if you have 16, it is within this bar, 17 within this bar, right? This is group data if you still remember. But then in this case, I don't know. For example, the frequency for this bar will be 5. Then in this case, it means from this range, I may have 16, 16, 16, 17, 18. Then in this case, all these numbers are in this range, and then they are all grouped in this part. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. But the case, I can still have 16, 17, 18, 18, 20. Then I also have 5 data, and all these 5 are also grouped in this group, so that when I draw the bar chart, I make the height here to be 5. Therefore, in this case, if you just look at the bar chart like that, you don't know the exact data. Okay, that is the difference. For stem and leaf diagram, it looks like a bar chart. It looks like a bar chart, right? You can see that for this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know that there are 5 data. It means you know the frequency. But at the same time, you know the exact data. You know amongst these 5 data, one is 20, 2 are 22, one is 23, and one is 24. Okay, therefore, in this case, if for stem and leaf diagram, if you imagine there are lines here like that, actually it looks quite similar to a bar chart. But the difference between a bar chart and stem and leaf diagram is that we can retain the values of the data in the stem and leaf diagram, but bar charts cannot. Okay, but for this one, because you need to list out all the data, therefore in that case, okay, it is just suitable for a small set of data. Okay, if there are too many, then it means it is very time consuming for you to draw the stem and leaf diagram, as you need to list out all the values here. Okay, and then back to back stem and leaf diagram, okay, have quite similar to this one because they are actually the same type. But for this one, when we use it to compare 2 sets of data, okay, of the same kind, it means, for example, this one is talking about what, 50 something, 60 something, 70 something, maybe pocket money. Okay, every day. Okay, this is 1F, class 1F, and then this one represents class 1G. Okay, like that. Then it means this part must be also showing the pocket money. Okay, same kind. Okay, then we can compare. Okay, which class has more pocket money. Okay, I mean just on average. Okay, something like that. Okay, and of course, okay, because it is also a kind of stem and leaf diagram, and therefore for back to back stem and leaf diagram, also they are only suitable for a small set of data. Okay, if there are lots of data, it is also very time consuming. And then for scatter diagram that we had yesterday, okay, it is used to show or tries to show whether there's a relationship between 2 sets of data. Okay, for example, you can another example, for example, I'm just thinking what it is easy for you to understand. Right, your weight, and then times for exercise. It means I can ask you, okay, for in a week, okay, how frequent you do the exercise. Every day, 2 days in a week, like that. Then I can have, say, you never do exercise, okay, just once a week, 2, twice, 3 days, you spend 3 days in a week for doing exercise. And then I can ask you how heavy you are. Okay, and then I can get the data and then see whether people, okay, for those who do exercise more, okay, are having smaller weight, okay, something like that. Okay, then in this case, then I can maybe draw a conclusion that the number of the frequency of doing exercise, or the number of times you do exercise in a week, is related to your weight. Okay, if I got a diagrams like that. Okay, right? This is the use of scatter diagram. Okay, any questions? Any questions? If you don't have questions, then we move to the next page. Hey, can I? Oh, right. Let's see. Right. Now for this one, if you look at this part, okay, there are different types of statistical diagrams because they have different purposes. Therefore, we need to choose, okay, which one is more suitable to our data. It means if you have collected some data, then you need to think which diagram you want to use to show your data. For example, in this case, if we want to show the distribution of genders in school, 1,000 students. Okay, 1,000. Therefore, in this case, I think stem and leaf diagram is not very good. Okay, right? And then we just want to show how many are boys, how many are girls. Therefore, we can just get the percentage and then use a pie chart to show the distribution. And then if in this one, okay, we want to show the changes of number of students in the school over the last 6 years. Then because we're talking about 6 years, okay, it's related to time, the time change, okay. And then in this case, broken line graph will maybe a better choice. Okay, you can show for each years how many students are there in the school. Then you can look at the change, okay, or look at the trend. Then in this case, we may think that it may continue to increase. Okay, in this case, if the trend follow this part, right? And this is stem and leaf diagram. Okay, suppose we want to know the ages of 18 patients. First of all, the number of data is not very big. And then we want to know that the distribution of the ages, and therefore from this one, okay, 18 patients, then I know that 2 of them are 8 years old, one is 9, and then one is 26 years old, 27 years old. And then most of the patients fall in this range, 30 something, 40 something, okay, for this clinic. And then for the last one, okay, if we want to talk about relationship, for example, in this case, the marks, the examination marks, and the time they spend on studying, okay, and then we can ask the student one by one, okay, how much time he or she has spent on the studying, and then the corresponding examination mark. Then in this case, we can get this scatter diagram. Okay, for this one, slightly positive, because if you look at the data in this way, okay, it looks like it has a trend like that, but it is compared with this part, this one is slightly positive. Okay, it means, okay, more time, when you spend more time, okay, on studying, okay, the marks will be higher. Okay, right. And then for this one, I would like to write you the description again, okay? Because I think you are not quite familiar with the description. Who are drawing these lines? You just think about what you are doing. Okay, sometimes I don't really want to say so, but some of your drawing, okay, are quite disturbing. Okay, you are disturbing the others. Okay, therefore, for those, if you like to do it in this way, then you are a bit selfish because you are disturbing your classmate. Okay, right. Now, then in this case, for the description, we may say that because it looks like going up like that, therefore, for this one, if you are asked to describe the relationship, then we say that there is a positive relationship. I think you just need to know how to spell positive and negative. And then when we talk about time spent, we use those adjectives, okay, more or less, but we use the comparative one used for comparison. Therefore, in this case, the more the time spent on studying, the higher the examination marks. Okay, you can just write in this way. Can do you see the structure? First of all, we have kinds of adjective, but this one we use the adjective for comparison. And then the for this one will be the two the marks here. We are comparing between, you can cut it in this way, between do and do. Okay, therefore here one is about the marks score by a class of students, but you can just cut it short. Okay, the marks, or no, you can just ignore examination. They hide the marks. Okay, copy from here. And then the other one, you can look at between, when we use this preposition between do and do, these two things. Therefore, the other one will be the time spent on studying. The time spent on studying. Okay, therefore, in this case, you can write down the description. Right. Someone told me that he has a problem in drawing scatter diagram. Let me clear the drawing first. Maybe I finish this session, then I show you one more example for drawing scatter diagram. Okay, let me finish this part first. Let's see. Okay, the second part will be something about misuse. Right. Okay, then we can start. We can. Okay, then in this case, maybe we do one more exercise, okay, before we continue, okay, about scatter diagram. Therefore, in this case, let me have the whiteboard. Okay, then in this case, maybe all of you turn to page 49. Okay, and then I just get one example. Okay, question 14. Question 14. Okay, and then in this case, now it seems that there are two tables, but they are just showing the same thing. Okay, height and temperature. Can you see that? Can you see that one? Can you see that one? Right. Let me show you the book. I'm opening the book. Wait for me. But you can have a look of the question first, see whether you understand. Right. Right. You see my book, right? Exercise 1D. Let's see. Number 14. Okay, maybe we try this one together. This one. You see that, everyone? Okay, number 14. Number 14. Can you see that? Now, you can see that there are two tables, right? For question 14, the table below shows the temperature at different heights above sea level in a mountain. Okay, you see that one, right? And then, okay, in that case, there are two tables, but they are just showing the same kinds of data, but your book, okay, is not big enough. Therefore, the data are separated into two tables like that. Okay, can you see this part? Okay, this one will represent the height, and then the other rows represent the temperature, and then all together 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now for the first table, okay, let me get a pen. There are 8 data, right? And then the other one also 8. Therefore, all together, there are 16 pairs of data. 16 pairs of data. And then we need to, this is one pair. Just like plotting coordinates. Okay, this is one pair. This is one pair, like that. Okay, now I just give you an idea first, and then I will use a graph paper to show you how to draw it. It means we have two axes like that. And then, can you see this part? Okay, we are talking about the height and the temperature. And therefore, you use one axis. For example, we can use the horizontal axis to represent the height, meter. And then the other one will be temperature. Okay, and then in degrees Celsius. Okay, then in this case, it means, for example, this is 50. This is 50. That means 50 and then 24. Okay, if this is 24. And then 650, maybe somewhere here. Okay, 12. And then you get another point like that. Okay, right. Then this is construct the scatter diagram to present the above data. Okay. there's no restriction whether you need to use horizontal axis to represent the height. If you do it in this way, okay, this one is temperature. Okay, this part, the vertical axis is the height. It is still correct. Okay, for scatter diagram. But usually, the case is that usually we will use the first one, the top one here, to be the horizontal. Okay, but you can, if you let's see. Okay, and then you can also, okay, use the where's my pen? Hey, what happened? Then in this case, you can also use the I cannot delete. I'm using the case, in your book, and then I'm not able to erase the stuff. Okay, and then it means for the height and temperature, maybe I'll type it here. We usually use the horizontal axis to represent height in this case. Because if you think that, usually people may think that the height will influence the temperature, will affect the temperature. Then in this case, if we think that the height affects the temperature, then in this case, we usually use the horizontal axis to represent height, and then vertical axis to represent temperature. Okay, and you will get these ideas later when you go to the senior form. But up to this moment, any problem? If you don't have any question, then I show you the graph paper. Let's see. Now, then in this case, now, if you look at the data, okay, if we use the horizontal axis for the height, then we need quite a lot of spaces. That's why let's see whether I can rotate my graph paper here. Can I rotate it? Yes. Then in this case, it is much better if we draw in this way. And then we need to count the number of squares we have. $20-something. And then we need to show up to 700. Right. Then in this case, maybe we can do it in this way. Hope you can see clearly. It means, for example, and then 20 something. Okay, and then let's count once again. Okay, then in this case, maybe uh, it's not really good if I think I must use 50 here. 50, and then 100, 150, 200, and then 260, 300, 350, 400, right? And then is this enough? The case is that there is 700. Oh, then in this case, that's why we need to calculate sometime, because I want to try to make it bigger. No. Okay, but there's a 50. We cannot skip. There's a very small value. Okay, we move your drawing. Who is that? We move your drawing. Who is that? Because you look at the first one, it is 50. Therefore, we cannot skip. That's why in this case, we must start in this way. Okay, we must do it. And then in this case, and then for this one, maybe in this way. Okay, and then we need to write down, this one is the height, and then this one will be temperature. If you are using the paper, then you can turn your paper to do it. And then we have a temperature at different heights above the sea level of a mountain. The temperature, okay, at different heights, okay, above sea level in a mountain. Okay, and then we can start doing the first one. Okay, the first one, 50. 50 should be somewhere here, right? And then 24. Where is 24? And then you draw a course here. Okay, 50, 24. And then 650 will be here, and then 12. All right, and then 400. 400. 18 here. Like that, continue to doing this way. 250 and then 21, right? And then 711. Okay, 450 will be 17. Okay, and 520, 15. 520. And then 15. Okay, like that. And then we continue in this way. And then the diagram we created, and this is called scatter diagram. Okay. 13. And then 150, 23. 380, 380. Somewhere here. Okay, 18. If you have, if you do it with a piece of graph paper, then you can use a ruler to help you so that you can mark the correct point. Okay, 210 and then 22. 210, 22. Okay, and then 100, 23. And then 350, 19. And 500, 16. 16. Okay, and then 320. Oh, finally done. Okay, like that. It looks something like that. Okay, these, okay, we don't need this part. It depends whether you want to rotate your graph paper in this way to draw it, okay? Sometimes we can rotate our graph paper if we think that we need more space here, okay? If you think that this part you need more space, then you can rotate your graph paper, okay? Even when you are having the examination, doesn't matter, okay? In case if you need to draw a graph, we will provide you the graph paper, and then you can just use it in this way or in the vertical way, okay? Either way is fine, okay? As long as you can show the data clearly. Then this one is scatter diagram, and then you can see, okay, the points here. Then in this case, okay, now this is part A. And then part B, according to the scatter diagram in A for this one, describe the relationship between the height above the sea level and the temperatures in the mountain. Then in this case, it means when the mountain is getting higher, the temperature is lower. Okay, therefore, the description may be a bit difficult for you because you should know when you talk about height, what is the suitable adjective? Okay, when you talk about temperature, what is the suitable adjective? Okay, we can say that taller, higher, okay, and when we talk about the height, but for temperature also higher and lower, okay, but then in this case, if you are asked to write the description, okay, for the second part, okay, I write it here, okay, then in this case, what color should I use for the pen? There is a negative relationship okay, because it looks like that, right? As here, okay? Therefore, it is called negative relationship. Then in this case, the higher, you can just copy the wordings written in the question. The height above sea level. The higher the height above sea level. These words you can copy from the questions. And then the lower the temperature. The lower the temperature in the mountain. Okay? The higher, the lower. Okay? And then you need to talk about which two you are looking at. Okay? The height above the sea level, the temperature in the mountain. Okay, like that. Okay, this is scatter diagram. Any more questions? Decrease, we, in this case, can you see that this one, decrease is a verb. This one comes from an adjective. Therefore, for this kind of sentence structure, okay, we need to use an adjective here. Okay, negative relationship, also relationship is a noun, negative is an adjective. Therefore, we cannot say that there is a decreased relationship. Okay, we will say that it is a positive relationship or negative relationship. For relationship, we use positive and negative, okay, as the adjective. If you say the line or the graph, if you want to describe the graph, then if you want to use the word decrease, then we can say that the graph is decreasing. In this case, we use, this is in English, we call it a gerund. In this case, not a gerund. In this case, we use it says gerund, okay? Anyway, in this case, decreasing is an adjective. We use the ing form. Well, decrease is a verb. Then in this case, it is in this way, it's just a kind, it's just, yeah, it's kind of adjective, okay? It is saying that the graph, okay, when the height gets higher, then the temperature decreases, okay? Never mind, actually, whatever you write, if you can make the marker understand what you are writing, it is fine, okay? But this is a kind of suggestion, okay? You can always use this kind of structure, sentence structure, to describe the graph, okay? Of course, you can use your own wordings to describe the graph as long as your sentences are correct and the markers can understand what you have written, okay? Right. Any more questions? Scatter diagram? Now, then in this case, I think we don't have enough time to continue to the next session. Therefore, in this case, let me show you what I have put in the Google Classroom. Now, if you look at your book, all right, page 76. Okay, this one, public exam questions. For the first one, HKCEE 06, it means 2006, the years 2006. Okay, in that year, the exam was called HKCEE instead of DSE. Okay, therefore, that is past paper questions. And then I have put in the Google Classroom that you need to submit these two questions. Okay, I think you are able to do it even we haven't finished the whole chapter 12. Okay, this one, A1 means section A1. Okay, there are 3 sessions in the public exam. Okay, section A1, section A2, and section B. Okay, and then this one is section A1 questions. Okay, talking about pie chart. And then you should be able to answer this one. Okay, and this is another one, but this one is called the HKDSE sample paper because there was a change in the public exam. Okay, previously it was HKCEE, and then later it has become HKDSE. There was a change, and therefore before HKDSE was started, there was some sample paper, okay, for the teachers and students. Okay, therefore this one is from the sample paper. Also section A1 questions. Therefore it means it is quite common that you will have the questions on this chapter in your DSE exam. And then usually, okay, amongst the 3 sessions, this topic is in section A1. Section A1. Okay, and then section A1 is the easier part. Okay. And then of course there are some more here because for the public exams there are 2 papers. One is paper 1, and then you need to write the steps, and then the other one is paper 2. They are multiple choices question, and then you can see that this one is from HKCEE, okay, the previous public exam, and then on in the year 2008, and this one HKDSE questions, okay, and then 2013. And for the multiple choice questions, there are 2 sessions, only section A and section B, and therefore you can see that for these topics, okay, the questions are in section A, okay, and then mostly you can see that pie chart, okay, pie chart. And actually we have stem and leaf diagram in the public exam questions, but stem and leaf diagram usually come with another topic. Okay, therefore the past paper question of stem and leaf diagram is not in here because usually the questions, okay, consist of statistics and other topics. Okay, and then that topic will be taught in Form 5. Okay, that's why you will see the stem and leaf diagram again, okay, when you are in Form 5 or Form 6 usually. Okay, right. And therefore, I have put in a Google Classroom that you need to finish these 2. Okay, and you can use your exercise book, or you can use a piece of paper to do it. And I also uploaded a single line paper in PDF format to you in Google Classroom.